This is Tim Willis, and what we're looking at is a ClickFunnels template that I am modeling and creating a slightly different version of this, and just breaking it down. And I'm coming to the part where I need something like this image here, but I don't want to use their image, so I have to create my own image. And I'm going to be doing that in my main tool for making graphics, which is Click Designs. There's a couple of steps to the process, the way I like to do it, the way I get the best results. And so we're going to go ahead and start looking at that. We're going to be doing something that looks like a tablet sitting on a table. It's not going to look exactly like this, but let's see what we can do. All right, so in Click Designs, I want to start off by going to my templates, making sure I'm on that. And there's a couple ways we could swing this, but we are going to go to the section called Mockups and go to Tablets. See how that works. Because most of the time I don't do these with the background. A lot of times I do them just where it's the device itself and it's in a bundle shot with other devices. So this is something I only occasionally do, but we'll do it today. And let's see what we have. Let's see if we can find something that's somewhat close to that. The problem is most of these are oriented the wrong way. They're oriented landscape, and our image here is portrait, but we can actually go landscape if we want here. Here's one. We'll just use this one here. It's portrait mode. And so of course, we can favorite this. We can do a preview, get a bigger image of it, or we can just load it up. And that's what we need to go do. Load it up in the editor. And so the first thing we need to do here is just get some information. And we need to find out what size we need to make the image that's going to go in that template, which in our case is going to be 567, 745. We are going to go ahead and exit out of here for now. We are going to pick up a blank canvas, and then we're going to put those dimensions in the blank canvas. All right, so this is going to bring us up a blank canvas in the editor where we will create our flat image design. All right, we're going to size down the cabinet just a little bit so we have the whole thing on screen. So we're just going to go ahead and choose a kind of gray color here just to kind of give it a little background color to work with so we can easily see the cabinets versus the area around it. Start off with here. It looks like we have a headline up here, a little logo thing down here, and then a picture of a house in the middle. So that's not too hard. So let's start with a picture of the house. We're going to go to our images and then search. And in Quick Designs, we can access Pixabay, Pexels, and Unsplash, all of which are royalty-free image libraries. You can also go to the website and get there, but we can access them right here without having to do that. Let's go with Unsplash. And let's go with House. And it's sometimes like Forrest Gump and his chocolates, you never know what's going to show up on these things. And sometimes you just have to keep on going down until you see something you like. Okay, so I think we're going to try this one here. So we select it, and then we will pull up our corners here and get it to the full width of our canvas. All right. So once we do that, next thing we want to do is go to our shapes. We're going to go down to our basic shapes and choose a square. That's going to go up here. Give up on it. It doesn't matter. It's not all just crash and burn now anyway. And let's go ahead and try this right about there. Pull our picture down some. And take a peek back here. What do we do with sort of? So we're going to go with some kind of tannish color here. So we're going to go to coolers.co, go to the color library, um, switch over to the brown shades. Find something that might work. Let's try this lion color. And we just plug that hex code in there. All right. Compare it to what we're doing. We're not trying to get exact. We're just trying to get it kind of like that. Next problem we have is we've got some text and we're not going to be able to pull that off just by copy and paste. We're going to have to write some stuff out. And actually what I do here, if I can just, actually I'm working on a version of this, so I can just go there and grab my text here to the headline that I altered. Save myself some trouble there. So now we want to bring up a text element. That's it right there. It always defaults to the black lettering, so I like to change that to white since I'm on a dark background. And then you always have to type in your text into this text box here. Now, I know some programs like Photoshop, you can actually type it on the screen, but not in Click Designs. You have to put it here. And here's our first problem. It's going to try to make one long line across the whole thing. So what we need to do is hit this button that says text wrap. And then we may have to adjust our size there, but we can get it to wrap around. Then we want to line it to the center. And that's looking pretty actually decent without resizing. Let's take a look at our original. They've got 4 lines. We have 4 lines. Let's see what our font size is. It's 36. Let's try 40. Okay. I think we'll go back to, let's call it 34. And then you'll just have to nudge things a bit here. All right, that looks better. Mhm. And then we want to select a font. And we will choose something here real quick. Nice thing about the font selector in Click Designs is when you mouse over the lettering, it will show you what it's going to look like. So let's go ahead and go with this Livery Franklin. That's a pretty good one. And then we're going to, let's see what it looks like bold. Looks decent. All right, let's see what we're matching here. And it kind of made that a brownish color. So let's see what we got in a very light kind of brownish color. Let's try this almond. That looks pretty decent. Okay, we'll go with that. I realize I'm kind of flying through here because I'm just so used to using Click Designs, but we're just kind of showing the basic process. It may vary a little bit in your editor or your graphics program, whatever you use. So, don't take any of this as, you have to do it this way or it's the only way to do it because it's not. All right, so we need to go back to our shapes, get ourselves another square. We're going to be putting it down here, pull it across, and get it just there where it covers up that white. And what did they do here with the same color? No, it's actually white there. So we just go with regular white. Okay. And again, here we have this little icon here. I think I'm not going to do that on this. I think I'm just going to use some text. So we will put on new text element right here. Let's stick it there for right now. We'll put saying freak. We'll choose a font. Let's go to April Fat Face. And we'll just keep it black. We're going to duplicate it. That way it retains all the formatting we already put into the first one. That up there. We can use our horizontal center to make sure it's there. We'll move this one here. It does have a guideline, but we can also use our horizontal center to be sure. And then we will make another text element. And this one's going to be much smaller text. So let's go ahead and make this a 20 already. And then let's check out a different font for it. You say will look like it'll be okay. What does it look like bold? Let's keep it unbolded. And then we'll just type in some text here. And once again, we can use our horizontal center to make sure we're centered horizontally. You might drop it down just a bit like that. Maybe pull the realty part up like that. And I think we're just going to go with that for our flat image, given that this whole thing is really just for a mock-up and not a real project. If it was a real project, I'd probably apply a little more effort here, but we're not working on a real project, so close enough is close enough. All right, so we'll just give this a name. Otherwise, it'll be mixed in with all the other ones I didn't name. It's also a new design on a search. I like to always admit to those kind of things and show the mistakes and the stumbling around because that's the way things really work. It can be intimidating when you get started doing these things. You think, oh, these guys know everything and they're perfect and they never make a mistake. Oh, baby, it ain't like that. Now, the reason why I like making a flat image versus just doing it on the template is I've always found that that gives me better results. And also, if you're dealing with something that you're going to have the same image but on several devices, you can always take this and resize it, but keep the same elements and just resize them and shift them around as you need to. So we're going to exit out of here, which brings us back to our main panel. Now, here's where the magic happens. We're going to go ahead and click on edit on the original one before and load that up. And you notice I'm very casual when I make these videos because a lot of these videos I make just as I'm going along doing things, and I just decide to turn on OBS and start recording. And that's the case here. I'm actually recording with OBS and the built-in microphone on my laptop, so that tells you, what kind of budget I'm operating on. When we mouse over here, it turns this area purple. So we want to click on edit. And then we have our image here. And we have a couple ways we could do this. Let's try using shift or that way. Select a bunch at once and delete. Select a bunch at once, delete. That line is got to go to. See what we got hanging around down here. Just run your mouse cursor over, highlight it all. You can also, now you can't backspace on this. You actually have to choose to delete, but you can, and if you're too low here or you can't reach it, you can actually do that here, I believe. Actually, can't. Oh, yeah, I can. There it is. I rarely do it that way. That's why I'm stumbling around looking for the delete button. Most of the time, I just use that drop down menu, but sometimes things are so low, it's hard to do that. All right. So now we got a blank canvas for our template. Let's size it down where we can see it all. So you see, when we go to designs, it's going to have different categories of things depending on what section of click designs we're using, but we're But something like we just did there ends up under custom graphics, which gives us two choices. We can use what we created, or we can edit what we created. We're going to click on use, and it should pop right in there. So most of the time when you're working with a template, and if you get the dimensions ahead of time, then when you create your flat image, it'll fit perfectly on that cabinet we're looking at. The one exception I have found to that is on phone mockup templates for some reason. And you generally have to stretch them out a little bit vertically. Now we've got this done, we could preview it. Show us what it's going to look like. And so we're happy with that. We can just X out our preview. We can save and exit. That will take us back to this screen. At this point, I probably want to go ahead and change this and put a name on it. Click the checkbox to save that. And then I'm going to click on save. Now our image is saved. Now we can do two things at this point. Let's take a look at this colors here. So the color is white. Okay, I don't think that's really doing anything much there. I'm not going to mess with it. Why jinx things? We can export it from here, or we can download it from the main panel. We'll just go ahead and export here. We're going to export it as a PNG, but as you can see, we could also export it as a PDF, a JPEG, or a WebP file. And we could select different DPIs on that. We can even put a watermark on it if we wanted, but I'd have to create the watermark, and I haven't done that. So we're just going to click on export. It'll show up in our downloads. My name is Tim Willis. I'm certified ClickFunnels funnel builder, and I make tutorial and demonstration videos on click designs, sales funnel building, web page design, and use of graphic tools like click designs to do all the things we need to do to make these sales pages and funnels happen. That's the video for now, and I will talk to you later.